Okay, guys, the last video was about 20 minutes long or so. This one will probably be even shorter, but this is a slightly more complicated activity to do. You're going to need either an extra little piece of paper, which was what I always use with my students in class. Actually, what I've used on my own tonight is a paper clip. My watch keeps disturbing me while I'm working. All right, so as I've done before, I'm going to share screen. So let me get to the part of my screen that I want to share. Okay. So this is lesson 2. This is the first slide you would click for your lesson 2. It is the PowerPoint, again, on my Canvas page, Canvas homepage for social studies, not science. You'll find this on all my tabs, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Click on any one of them. What will come up first is this. That's slide number 1. You've already done slides 1 through 10. You don't need to do that again. You're going to go to slide 11 where it says lesson 2. Using a distance scale on a map. Okay. Today we will learn how to use a distance scale on a map. The Earth has a radius of 3,959 miles. So radius means how big something is halfway. So diameter is how big something is all the way around, like a belt around Santa. So it'd be twice that size. To create a life-size picture of the Earth would be virtually impossible, as we would need a piece of paper the same size as the Earth. A map is a drawing of the Earth. A map that is as big as the Earth would be too large to carry around with you. To be able to create maps that you can read, cartographers or map makers create smaller versions of the Earth's surface. They do this by drawing a certain distance on a map that represents a much larger distance on the Earth. This is called a distance scale. Scale makes it possible to show the whole Earth on a piece of paper the size of this page. After creating a map, cartographers will put a distance scale, shown below on a couple pages down, that allows you to measure the actual distance between two locations on the map. Not all maps are the same size. Therefore, these distance scales will be different depending on the size of the map. Okay, go to your next slide, slide 13. Based on the passage on the previous slide, describe why there is a distance scale on the map. So go back to slide 12. Scan this. In other words, read it again on your own. Come up with your own meaning to it. Click in this box. In other words, left click. Tell me why we need a distance scale on a map. Write that in here. Type in your answer. Okay? After you have that done, go to your next slide, slide 14. Access the passage by clicking on the following link, using a distance scale on a map. Mine's not blue anymore because I've already clicked this. I've gone through. Before I do a Zoom video, I always go through and click all my links. Okay, so again, it's control. I'm holding down the control key. That's why it turns to a hand while I'm clicking this. And then I left click with my mouse. You see, it takes a moment because I have a lot of tabs that are open. Okay. Okay, using a distance scale on a map. We already read this part. Okay. This is an actual distance scale. Here's another one, and another, and another. A cartographer is just a map maker. Using the distance scale to measure distance between two locations. Use the scale bar to measure distances between two places on a map is easy. Locate the distance scale on the map. You see it right here? The distance scale on the map to the left can be located right under the key. So on this map, they have the key here and the distance scale is right underneath it. It's not always going to be like that. You might have a key up here and your scale might be here. You might have a key here and your scale is over here. It's going to be like an Easter egg hunt. You're always going to be looking for your key and your scale. The distance on the scale represents 100 miles on the Earth's surface. Okay. So we've read this. As you read the passage, describe the steps you need to take to find the distance between two locations. So step 1, locate the distance scale on the map, right? That's what you're going to click in here, step 1. You're going to click in that box and write that in there. Locate the distance scale on the map. You're going to answer this question too. What does the distance scale tell us? You need a reminder, go back in that link, click in there. Okay. They want you to type in all the different steps that you have to take to use a distance scale. So the first step is find the scale. This tells you the purpose of the scale at the top. Scale makes it possible to show the entire Earth on a piece of paper the size of the page. So step 1 is locate the distance scale on the map. Just missing some information here. Let's see if the rest of our information is in here. I think we're missing some info. Yes, there's a page missing. Right. This is where it pays to have this in more than one format. So we go back. Excuse me. Okay. This I'm going to take a picture of. Not that you can necessarily read this, but you see step 1 says locate the distance scale on the map. It says take out a piece of paper, but it doesn't have to be a piece of paper. You see, I used a paper clip for mine. Take out a piece of paper. It could be, if what you have handy is a memory card, paper clip, whatever you want it to use for your reference guide, whatever it is. It could be a ruler, not necessarily that you're using an inch, whatever it is that you're using for your unit, that's what you're going to use. Put the corner of the piece of paper or the corner of your paper clip. For me, it was this end to this end. That was my unit. Okay. The way this one says is put the corner of the piece of paper at your starting location and put the edge of the paper at the ending location. Mark the ending location on your paper. Measure the distance on your paper against the distance scale. If the scale bar is not long enough, make another mark and add the distances. See, there was the rest of it. It didn't give you all the information. Okay. It's missing this page, which is kind of crucial. Okay. I will put this as an addendum page because it's kind of necessary. This tells you the other steps that you need to take on how to use a distance scale. Okay. Take out a piece of paper, put the edge of the paper between the 2 points you wish to measure. Put the corner of the paper on the piece you wish to start at and put the edge of the paper so it touches the location you want to measure to. In this example to the right, we're measuring from Natchitoches to Alexandria. The start point of the paper is at Natchitoches. The side of the paper touches Alexandria. Step 4, with the pencil, mark the end location on your paper. Step 5, put your piece of paper with your pencil mark and measure the distance against a distance scale as seen below. In this example, the distance between Natchitoches and Alexandria is about 50 miles. If the scale bar is not long enough, mark where it ends on the paper. Then slide the paper to the left to line up to the new mark with 0. Do this as many times as necessary. Add the distances together to get the distance between the two spots that you're measuring, I believe is what it's trying to say. Okay, so those are your steps you're going to take. All right. Again, I will add that page to Wednesday instructions because that's a page that they left out by accident. Clearly not intentional. So steps 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Got a mosquito flying around me. You're going to have to get from the addendum page that I add to it. Okay, addendum page. I will add to this in just a few minutes. All right, so you have to click in each one of these boxes and add in these instructions. This is part of your grade. Distance scale. Using the distance scale on the following map. Answer the questions on the next slide. Okay, or you can click on Map of Louisiana and get it from here. Okay. I would recommend you use a piece of paper. This is how I've always instructed my kids to do this before. Once my students caught on to how to do this in years before, they said it was like a game. They loved doing it. My RTI time, they asked to do distance scale because they thought it was fun. We did distance scale, measuring and finding locations of fossils, dinosaurs. They said it was like a game. They liked it. Once you figure it out, it's a fun thing to do, okay? I would start off with a piece of paper. So from 0 to 50 miles, if you're going to use this scale, then you need to stick with this map. If you're going to use the scale, back on, this page, because you notice this page is a little shrunken. If you're going to use this scale with your piece of paper, then you need to use this map. Don't trace this scale and try to use it on that map. Those are different scales and different maps. You need to keep it consistent. Either trace the scale and use this scale on this map to get your accurate readings, or trace this scale and use it on this map. But then you click in each box and you tell me how many miles apart those are. And notice that says miles. You have to give me the number and then you have to type in miles. If you don't write in miles, the answer is wrong, because how do I know if you're talking about 50 cupcakes or 50 toothpicks? You need to type in the number and then the word miles. The number and then the word miles. The number and then the word miles. Same thing. The number and then the word miles. The number and then the word miles. The number and then the word miles. Okay, so what you're doing for a grade for me this time, slide 13, you tell me why there's a distance scale on a map. Slide 15, you tell me what a distance scale tells us. Then you give me step 1, 2, and 3 to use a distance scale. Slide 16, step 4, 5, and 6 to use a distance scale. Slide 18, you tell me how many miles apart Baton Rouge and Lafayette are. How many miles apart Lake Charles and New Iberia are. How many miles apart New Orleans and Slidell are. Use these top numbers, those are miles. How many miles apart Shreveport and Monroe are. How many miles apart Alexandria and Natchez are. That's Natchez, Mississippi. How many miles apart Houma and Metairie are, using this distance scale. Okay, and using the directions that you just wrote down here. So you're not looking up on Google how far apart those cities are. You're actually measuring it using this distance scale. I already know what they are because I measured it myself using this distance scale. Okay, so this is going to be your Wednesday assignment. Okay, you're going to submit these. You download this PowerPoint, you type in these boxes, then you re-upload this into Canvas. Okay, it's already assigned to your name, so I grade it in JCampus. I don't grade it in Canvas. It's a mess with Canvas. We as teachers were told that if we graded it in Canvas, it would automatically send the grades to JCampus. Turns out that's not true. So to lessen our workload, I actually grade in JCampus. That way I don't grade it in Canvas and then have to grade it also in JCampus. Wherever I can, I lessen my workload. So I will put any other updates I need to as needed. If you guys need to text me, my phone number is 318-470-0212. I don't take phone calls. And my email address is also listed on Canvas if you guys need to email me with any questions, and also Class Dojo. Okay. See you guys later. Bye.